3. All right, check. We're recording. All right, we're recording officially. I'll just cut this part out of the beginning. So,
sounds good.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. By the right of the council, by the will of the Force, welcome back into another episode of the Galaxy famous, all of them, Evan, Halcyon approved Jedi Talk podcast. Happy Saturday morning. We've all got morning voice from being hungover or hanging out with hookers from the night before. You are following us at Jedi Talk Podcast on Instagram, youtube.com/Jedi Talk to see our ugly mugs every now and again and some content from Batu and beyond, and on TikTok at Jedi Talk. We're 2/3 of the council are in person and another one out in riding the tail of a Purgle somewhere out there in the distant galaxy. I'll introduce the man in front of me first. He came into today. Again, last week I said crying 30% less. The crying has jumped up 10%. Evan T. Boucher. Evan, how the hell are you today?
Adiga, and good journey, but yeah, you got all that right, definitely. And morning voice is a thing, but I'm also a little sick at the moment, just like a little congestion, so a lot of stuff going on there with the terrible voice. But yeah,
that'll happen.
Yeah.
There's Disney World is busy. I don't know if you noticed that.
No,
it was
crazy
really busy earlier this week.
Yeah. My cousins are in town. They're actually leaving today, but I saw them last night at Springs, and they were like, "This is insanely busy. We did not expect it." They're like, they're annual pass holders. They're like professionals. They come all the time.
Gotcha. Speaking of busy, the reason why he's on a Skype call with us today, busy man out there on the Bourbon Trail, Mr. Brad Hughes. Brad, how the hell are you today?
What's up, fellas? How's it going? I have morning voice too, but I also have after concert morning voice.
Oh, so I know that one. Yeah,
it's a twofer.
I know that one incredibly well.
We got a lot going on.
We do have a lot going on.
We just sound terrible, all of us. It's fine.
This is Jedi
It's
Talk.
all right. We'll be okay.
What's up, fuckers?
Oh, God.
Speaking of sounding terrible.
Happy 4th Mother Talk 5.
Yay. What's up, Kyle?
Nothing. What's going on, man?
Not much, buddy. How's everything in the glorious city that is Chicago?
It's a fucking toilet, as always.
Ladies
well, if anyone deserves to live in a toilet, it's you.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I feel grateful after being to New York and L.A., knowing that Chicago is surprisingly the least toilet of a city.
It definitely is. I told you L.A. sucked, man.
Chicago's a clean-ass city.
And Anaheim sucks, too. Like, Anaheim didn't used to be like that. Like, I literally walked over a homeless person walking into a CVS to get a bottle of water.
Are you sure this wasn't a CVS employee, Brad?
$10 bottle of water?
I mean, Disney does a really surprisingly great job because you don't feel like you're in LA anymore or Anaheim when you walk in there.
Mm-hmm. And thank God.
Yeah, thankful. Like they've preserved those parks, which
100%.
is great.
Which park did you like better? Did you like DCA or did you like Disneyland better?
Oh God, that's a hard question.
What do you mean? That's a hard question to answer.
They're both really good. I probably would prefer Disneyland, obviously, because of
correctly.
Yeah, it's the right answer.
I've never been to DCA, but I have to agree too.
Yeah. But like they just have more at Disneyland, but DCA has some really good stuff too. So,
Kyle, did you ever go to California Adventure before like the early 2000s revamp?
Like when I got home from Disneyland, California, I didn't remember being there, but my mom was going through her like old pictures, and she showed us pictures that we were there when we were little kids. So, but I didn't remember any part of it. So.
She probably was too busy with Brad or I.
Yeah,
when you were
fuck
out
off.
Well, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, this is the infamous Kyle of Kyle and Kyle's mom. So, this is him to all of our new Halcyon friends who know Kyle very well. By the way, they know his mom very well.
I probably have like a few Facebook hate groups that are like with my picture posted on it from ex-Halcyon fans.
We haven't talked to you. I mean, at least I haven't since then, dude. The amount of people that were like, "Tell Kyle's mom hi,"
and that's not him joking. That actually happened.
It was crazy, dude. Every time someone said it, it made me laugh so hard. I'm like, I feel so bad for your mom.
I don't.
Yeah. I will say it is pretty funny how that like caught fire. I mean, I wish like, me being a short shit or something would have caught fire, but I guess
This is your doing. This is your fault.
this has been Tom and I's joke running since like we were in high school. So
Well, finally, there's no such thing as an overnight success.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess we're never gonna grow up really, and
No, definitely not.
that's not the worst thing.
We're not men.
Look at the room we're sitting in right now, surrounded
Yeah,
by
right.
toys.
I have action figures up the ass, and I
I just
have to
spent
find room for
$100 on
6 of
Lego
them.
last night, so like definitely not growing up.
What'd you buy?
The E-wing set from
Nice.
from Ahsoka.
Nice,
Yeah.
very cool.
Nice.
It's got Balin, so I had to buy it.
Kyle, give the Jedi Talk listeners your thoughts on Ahsoka real quick.
I loved it. I thought it was certainly one of my. I mean, I think this was certainly a step in the right direction. I don't know why I keep seeing articles, especially on IGN. Go fuck yourself, IGN, saying that Ahsoka wasn't what we wanted, and this is the problem with Star Wars. Like, no, there's no problem with this sort of Star Wars. This was good Star Wars. Like, this was really good and entertaining. So, I can't wait for season 2.
I liked it too. I just didn't want a setup season, which is kind of what this was. I kind of wanted to like spend the first few episodes getting into it, and then, telling the story that they're going to tell in season 2, somewhat in season 1. But, the payoff will just be better, when it finally happens.
It was a massive dick tease, I would say, because like they teased Thrawn throughout the entire, what was it, like 7 or 8 episodes,
6.
and then we finally get 6 episodes, okay, and then and then it just kind of like ends like like on a cliffhanger, and you're just like, oh man.
Yeah,
and
that was my issue with it. It was a dick. I think I even described it on the episode as a dick tease.
You did.
and now we have to wait. Because I just heard that Deadpool 3 got delayed with indefinitely because of the actors' strike. So who knows when we're going to get season 2 of Ahsoka?
Yeah, they're all getting delayed. They're all getting delayed. I don't know if Brad had even heard this or if he caught the last fourth mother box. The Daredevil writers all got like quit or fired. So that's like going back to the chopping block. I know. It's I don't know what the hell's going on.
I don't think this is going to get resolved. I mean, I don't see the companies or the writers budging on this AI stuff. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make an Instagram post and make this about me. That's my plan.
Well, no, you can't make a post because you're supporting the strike, so you can't post.
But then I'll make a post supporting the strike while making it about me being a person who posts on Instagram twice a week.
Yep.
And that's going to solve the problem. And that'll help.
Yeah.
Not better help.
Retards.
Or therapycouch.com. That's the worst thing you could possibly do for your
Speaking
mental
of
health.
therapycouch.com, last night I saw the 1975, and in the middle of the show, he had an ad for BetterHelp.
Use my promo code, the 1975.
It's exactly what it was. He set this up like beautiful story about like growth and mental health and how important it is and blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, and if you need help, betterhelp.com. And the entire arena just like lost their shit. It was so funny. It was so fucking funny.
So he was setting it up for an ad the whole time. I mean, hey.
The whole time. It was brilliant.
Money, right?
Well, I think I don't even know if it was a joke. It may have been a joke because he's that kind of person. It may have just been a joke the whole time, but it was really weird hearing like 45,000 people all laugh together like that. It was crazy.
That's spectacular. Speaking of music, I want to give a shout out to a recent listener who reached out to me. Evan and Brad and even Kyle of the infamous Kyle's mom. I don't know if you guys know this, but really into Metallica. And there is a fellow Halcyon Knight, a Halcyon passenger who has been on several times by the name of Austin Manning, who reached out to me because he had found out that I love Metallica just as much as he does. So I just want to talk about that crossover there, Metallica and the Starcruiser. Like, that's awesome. And talk about, I mean, like, it kind of surprises me and then it doesn't, because you see all walks of life on the Starcruiser and the Halcyon. There were people from the Third Reich that Brad and I had dinner with.
I was about to say,
Quite
literally everything from far left to neo-Nazi.
Yes, it's exactly right. All walks of life on the Halcyon.
Yikes.
But Austin reached out, and and I don't know if I mentioned the two of you, but I definitely want to get him on Jedi Talk. I think I mentioned to Brad.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I want to get him on Jedi Talk, talk about Starcruiser, talk about Metallica.
Music,
This guy's pretty fucking, I would call him Metallica famous because he was, I don't know if you guys know, Metallica has a podcast out called The Metallica Report. It's theirs. And he was a guest on the first episode.
Oh, dang.
Yep.
No
He's
shit.
legit.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Awesome.
Now, like, are the band members on the podcast?
They
hosted and
like
stuff, or-
no, they don't host it. It's hosted by So What magazine editor and somebody who's a part of the All Within My Hands Foundation. So they've been with Metallica for multiple years. So like proper hosts for the show, and the band members will join as like interviews here and there.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's really
What
cool.
I'm hearing,
That's awesome.
what I'm hearing is that we need to have some Metallica on a Star Wars TV show at some point. We need some soundtrack.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
Hey, you got it in the Jungle Cruise. Wasn't that enough for you?
No,
No, that's
it'll
not
never
enough.
be enough.
Absolutely
I
not.
want it on in Star Wars, too, and I'm not even a huge fan.
You wouldn't really be able to do that. I mean, like, I guess like if they were going to use a Metallica song, they could have used it in the Sabine Wren bike scene in Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Now here's what you do. You give them cameos in a cantina.
Oh,
Ooh,
fuck
yeah.
yeah.
I'm sure Sabine's going to fly a bike again, though, so they could just play during that scene, too.
No,
But I like the cameo
They could-
better.
They could always play the Imperial March. They've done it randomly in a concert once before.
yeah, they have. That
dang.
was a long time
They
ago.
could definitely do that,
cool.
because that
Yeah.
song is canon.
That's true. They could be playing in a cantina.
Yeah.
Just have like galaxy famous instruments or something. So, speaking of the Halcyon, but shout out to Austin. He's going to come join us on a future episode. But speaking of the Halcyon,
Hell yeah! Shout out to Austin.
Yeah. So y'all, like, I don't know about you, but the page has gotten a couple of inquiries. I personally have. I think Brad has. I'm sure Evan has been talking to his Halcyon folks. Like this Yahoo article and the surveys that people are getting.
It's been passed
paid
around
survey.
in countless Facebook groups
It
and everything.
seems to me like I don't know if this rumor is true. It has legs to it, but everyone's like talking about okay, the Halcyon isn't dead. And trust me, I'd like to, as a community, move on from it and continue to celebrate it instead of mourn it. But like when a rumor like this has legs like this, you know, when and I kind of want to ask Brad because Brad's friend or friend of the show was quoted in the article. Len Testa is whoever did the Yahoo article, and I'm going to pull it up to give them cred. You know, was talking about essentially like, you know, they didn't make any money on this, but you know, closing it now and then asking for surveys is a positive sign, wouldn't you say, Brad?
Yeah, so I read that article and then I saw that it was Len, and so I immediately pulled out my phone and texted him, and I was like, "So what's going on with this?" And
Thank you for that.
he's like, basically, he said there's no way. I think he even said in the article, there's no way that this is over if they're asking people's opinion on it. Like for example, like when Splash Mountain closed, they weren't like, "How was your experience with Splash Mountain? Did you enjoy? What would you change?" You know what I mean? Like they had a replacement. They don't care what you think. It's over. It's gone. I don't think this is going away. Now, after talking to Lynn, it didn't reveal too much to me, but from what me and him talked about, it seems that it's coming in a different in a new form. Same building, same story. I don't know what all he said publicly, but I showed you what he told me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I'm searching for that Yahoo article right now. I don't know why. It went away.
Y'all sent it to me, so it should be in our group chat.
That's right. It is in our
And
group
it's
chat.
in all the Facebook groups.
yeah.
I think it even got put in our group, too, like our meetup group.
It did.
It's in everything.
Hey Tom, write down what time this is because I'm going to say something. I don't know if it needs to be edited out.
Okay.
Did I send you the thing he said about it tweaking it to a 1-day experience?
Yes, but I think he said that in the article as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
He did. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And see, that's where I take a lot of pause on this, because I didn't even bother reading the article because I don't want to get my hopes up, because I don't trust anything Disney does or says at the moment.
Okay.
But I don't want a neutered version of this. Like, it's a shell of its former self if it's a 6-hour experience. Like, I don't want that.
Well, here's the
I'd
conversation.
rather it be dead and gone than be a shell of its. I'd rather, bury my friend than go see his corpse. Like, I don't want that.
That's crazy to me because there's still, I think there's aspects of the Starcruiser you could have scaled back. That's not the people. That's not the
But that's what
performers.
they're going to do. They're going to make it all data pad where you scan everything, and there's maybe one character and a couple stormtroopers. Don't get me wrong. I'm still going to go because I'm still going to love whatever is there, but I'd rather it be all or nothing. And they're not going to do all or nothing. They're going to do this middle road, which sucks.
But then, like, it will be able
Yeah,
to
but
serve.
they didn't make any money.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They
That's
said
all
that
that
only like
matters.
77,000 people made. Well, I mean, they are a business, and they
Yeah,
it
that does matter. Yeah.
It does matter, but it's you know, I mean, the fact that they said like only 70,000 people went on the entire thing.
71,000.
That's
Yeah.
probably
Like,
counting
that's
some repeat people, too,
crazy.
so it's probably less.
No, it's not.
Oh,
they
did
said
the number
they
where
said
they didn't.
excluding repeats.
Okay,
yeah.
that's cool. I'm glad they did
That
that
was
because
that
that's
was
something I
unique
always
visitors.
wondered how many
Yeah, that's
people.
unique visitors.
Dude, that's less
Well, we
people
know,
that are at
like-
the resort daily. Like if you count all the parks.
Think about this. Like, what's 71,000 times 5,000? That's the gross money they made.
Not counting merchandise and alcohol.
Yeah, just for the stay. Like that's. I mean, I'm bad at math.
And
But
that's
that's
only-
like what?
That's 355 million.
Only in 18 months.
Okay.
So how about you give it a little more time and you make
But
Yeah.
they
so much
weren't.
more money.
It made $250 million in
Right.
fucking a year.
Yeah,
that's insane.
a failure in Disney's
But
eyes.
but
Ugh.
yeah.
How is that a failure?
Hold on. It's a failure because of the overhead and like how much things cost. Like I don't think the actors cost anything as much as everything else does. There's some crazy shit, and even some shit that we've heard off air about this thing. That like how the hell?
Just how much it cost
Yes.
to make. I mean, it was
To
like
make, to do,
insane.
I'm not defending it here, but I'm just saying it's like if closing it down, and I hate to say this, but if closing it down saves it so for the likes of Kyle and giving the three of us a chance to bring his mother aboard sometime in the future, I would love to be able to have that opportunity. So Kyle, let's hear perspective from you because it's rare that we have somebody on the show that hasn't been on the Halcyon and somebody who is interested in it. So it's like if just give the listeners just a thought and you're interested in this before they close it, and would you go to it if they returned with something that wasn't up to par that you know exists from the three of us?
Oh, without a doubt. And I'm a little bit in Evan's camp where it's like if they come back with it, I don't want a watered down experience. And maybe they could like change the dates up where, you know, maybe they have like a day experience or something like that, and then you could do the full throttle like on the weekends or something. I don't know, but if they come back with it, I definitely want full throttle, and I would absolutely go to that.
And you'd pay the what is it, $5,000 to $6,000 for the 2 nights?
Well, I mean, it depends on what it is. So if it's $5-6 grand, I think I'm just going to take that and go meet Metallica. Sorry, that's going to come first.
Yeah, I would do that too. 10 times out of 10. Yeah.
But if I don't know, I mean, again, it just depends. I mean, maybe we could all get together and go or something like that, cut
Yes,
the costs or
absolutely.
whatever. But
Yeah, for sure.
My preference would certainly be the full experience.
Okay.
Yeah, I think everyone's preference would be that, and mine would be that too. But I think to save the building and save all the stuff that was there and all the memories we had there, and maybe there's some sort of like maybe making this not canon kind of frees it up to do some stuff. Like maybe you go in there like rotate rare characters or something in there that you can interact with. There's potential there for fun stuff. I mean, like it's just not going to be what it was I mean, that's for sure.
Well, there's the
So-
thing. Like I said, I'll definitely go no matter what it is, but I'd rather it be full out. But the thing is, if you shorten it so it's not 2 days anymore, you get rid of the Batu excursion, then you can make it original timeline, original sequel. I can't talk. Original trilogy timeline where Vader's there and you see Luke.
Yes.
So
Mm-hmm.
you could do a
That's-
day experience of the original trilogy, and like that is the way to go if you're gonna change it. Don't do the same story because you can't.
Yeah, same
You
story.
can't condense a 2-day story into 8 hours, 10 hours, and make it make sense.
But would that-
You can't. So you have
would
to
that-
change the story.
Would that fit with Batu though? Because
Well, you
Batu
cut out
I
Batu.
feel like is
You're not going to Batu
you cut-
anymore.
Oh, so I thought that was like the Halcyon was quote unquote connected with Batu.
No, it's
or
just
it's
a
not.
spaceship going to whatever planet it wants to. So you don't even. You're cutting the excursion
The
to begin
story
with.
is
You don't
that
leave
it's
the ship.
recreating the first voyage from
Right.
ever, and the first voyage they went to
This
was
story.
Batu.
Yeah,
What a
so
coincidence.
You write a new story where they don't go to a planet, and it's just you're on the ship, and Darth Vader comes on. Oh no! And then that's the story.
I mean, you know, that's a good point because like you could even incorporate like a lot of different eras of Star Wars in that. And I think that would be an even cooler experience. You know, cuz then you have some people that just for whatever dumbass reason, they just hate the newest trilogy and they don't want anything to do with it. But if you like offering like an OG storyline, I mean, that certainly would appease the Slave Leia bikini wearing fans.
Yep.
Make it like a world between worlds where like you're in like this Force story being guided by Asajj, and you end up in the world between worlds, and then all these different characters come out from
That
prequel
is
all the way
100%
to
doable.
sequel trilogy.
Even before prequel. High
Yeah,
Republic.
absolutely.
The
There you
ship's
go.
been around for 275.
I kind of
whatever
just wish they
voyages.
would get away from the whole hotel thing and just make it an excursion up to the ship
Yeah,
from Batu.
and that's
And
essentially
you
what
can
I'm
go
saying.
explore it. And
It's like a day at sea,
You don't-
a day in space.
Yeah, and like you just kind of book it as a part of your stay, or a part of your Batu trip, and like maybe it's an upcharge because you know you got to pay people to get you to and from the ship.
I'm
Fine,
with you
whatever.
there.
Yeah.
But you know, I think that would just be the way to go. Turn the bridge on, make it like a training bridge.
Yep.
You can go and mess around with it anytime you want.
Disney Quest.
Yeah, exactly. Star Wars Disney Quest. Go hang out in the engineering room. Have characters pop in and out, like have Sammy show up, and
Yeah, Chewie's got to be up
Captain
there.
and-
Yeah.
you know, and just make it so it's not 2 days, but you just kind of go up there for a little bit and hang out. That's always been my thing. And like you can have dinner in the Crown of Corellia, and you know maybe they keep that same dinner service from night 2 for dinner. And I think that would really impress a lot of people because that stuff's really impressive, the presentation and stuff. So I don't know. I think that's a smart way to do it. I don't want to see them demolish that building, and I don't think it's happening now. I really don't. I'll be shocked if it does.
If they demolish it, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah, and none of us are lawyers, so we don't know how the
Right,
whole tax appreciation and all that whatever goes. But yeah,
Yeah, from
I
my
don't want 'em to tear
understanding, it
down.
had to get demolished for that tax thing. That's what I had heard. But
Yeah.
again, not an attorney. Don't know. Not privy to the contracts.
No,
but
and
the person that I talked to, Len Testa,
is a
was
genius,
privy
so
to
he
all
knows.
that. So,
Yeah.
well, no, he pays attorneys to look at stuff like this. I don't know
Yeah.
if you guys know that.
Yeah.
As part of the show, like, he'll pay an attorney to read the contracts and like interpret it for him.
Mhm.
So
That'd be
Yeah.
cool. I'd love to have Len on Jedi Talk. I'll just put it out in the universe now.
Yeah, we talked to Jim
Yeah.
a while ago, and Jim's awesome.
yeah, we've talked to Jim before. I'll get him on. We'll
All
get
right,
him on.
beautiful. Austin, fucking Len Testa, Austin Manning, Len Testa, and then
Yep.
here we are sitting with fucking Kyle Casantino. It's just,
Right.
it's just we can only go
Man,
up
what a
from
fucking
here.
drop off.
I know we can only go up from here, though, guys. I'm working on getting Eric Burris on too when Brad gets back into town. So
Yeah, and next in November we're doing a little side interview thing with
We are,
Halcyon
yeah.
project that's being put together.
that's right.
So yeah, a lot of stuff coming up in the pipeline.
So
Got a lot. Fellas, we're busy. We're busy.
we are busy. Yeah, we are busy. So, and especially with the Halcyon, right? Evan and which a bunch of help from the community. We're all getting together with the Halcyon. The Legacy Continues. That's the official name now, right?
Yep, it's a good
All
name.
right.
Very good name.
So Halcyon, the Legacy Continues. These meetups. Evan, I've spoken to quite a few people who have confirmed and said they're flying out here for that.
I know, and people are like, "We've already booked our Airbnb," and I'm like, "Okay, well."
So
No way.
Wow.
Really?
yeah, now
Yeah.
there's like a little bit of pressure to not suck. So we'll see how this goes.
when I heard that, and since the Jedi Talk's name is attached to it, now I've got to ask you daily updates. So make
Right.
sure you don't make us look bad. No, I'm kidding.
No, you should keep us all honest.
No, this will be spectacular. I'm really excited.
Yeah,
And
I mean, you three. Well, Kyle doesn't know the story. We'll have to let him know the
Yes.
story. But
I did tell
you
him
and
about
Brad
the
have
date.
seen the story, and you think it's a pretty solid story.
it's fantastic.
Yeah, so I think that's the meat of it. Is the story, and then what's going to make it live are not actors, because we're nowhere near actors, but are the people playing these NPCs essentially. That's going to be what really makes it go. So as long as we put our all into it, I have a lot of faith that it's going to be good.
Gotta have faith. Limp Bizkit tried to cover it. They did.
They
an
did.
Okay
They
job.
didn't have faith.
Well, I guess it would be nice.
Kyle loves George Michael.
I do too.
I'm just-
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
He
me
sings.
neither. I'm like,
come
I'm with you.
on. Guys, he's from Wham.
I know who George Michael is. I'm just shocked.
I
Kyle
whammed
knows.
Tom's
Careless-
mother last night.
Ooh.
Careless Whisper. Father Figure. That
Careless
song where he was
Whisper,
coming
yeah.
out of the closet and no one knew what the song was. What was that? What was that song called? Shit. Why am I blanking?
I don't know.
And Wham.
Freedom.
There you go.
Freedom.
Oh yeah.
And Wham ties back to Deadpool. There we go. So it all comes full circle. We were talking about Deadpool.
Look at Evan trying to get us off of George Michael. It must be a personal thing there. So just to kind of sit and wrap up on like this Halcyon talk, because we're going to be continuing to talk about this forever. Because like I said, the Legacy continues meetups that we're having. I told Kyle, Evan, I'm trying to get him to come out here for that.
That'd be awesome.
To get involved in that.
Maybe we don't tell them the story because I'd love to hear it from someone that doesn't know what's happening
There you
and
go.
see what they think of it.
That would be awesome.
Is that February date you were telling me about, Tom?
Yeah, like end of February, early March. Yeah.
All right.
That might be the time,
Yeah.
too, that Austin might be able to get with Jedi Talk in person. So if you're out here, too, Kyle, we can have a big old show.
That'd be great.
So, yeah.
Hell yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you guys really, in your heart of hearts, and I'll ask you this first, Evan, do you think there's smoke to the fire here in what everybody's talking about, that the Halcyon's not dead? I even had a former client that I've trained at Transform that caught wind of this. He's a Star Wars fan, but he never paid attention to the Halcyon. He's like, hey, I heard it's coming back. Do you think it's coming back?
I think the building will be used again for something.
Okay.
That's all I'll say. And I'm not reading the article. I'm not putting any hope into it because, like I said,
yeah,
Disney's
I get
Disney.
it.
So
If you end up
the
reading
building
the
will
article,
come back. I will step foot in that building one day.
If you end up reading the article, they talked to Len and they talked to Brooke McDonald,
Oh, nice.
who
Brooke's
we're,
awesome too.
we're Instagram friends with.
Mhm.
I don't think I've ever met her in person, but she's constantly out here. She actually lives in Chicago, Kyle. So she's written several articles about the Starcruiser, and she's heavily involved in that community and the Disney community. They talked to her too, kind of similar. Some things that she said similar to her article. So, so if you end up reading it, Kyle, what do you think they're going to do with everything? Do you think there's true rumors here that they're bringing something back?
I mean, I think if they truly are bringing it back, it's probably because of like the fans that exist. Maybe Disney's actually like listening to people, and like I mean, it's very apparent that there's a group of people, kind of like the Snyderverse, that are just obsessed with this and really want it to come back in some form, and were like really upset that it closed. So I hope that Disney is listening to it, and they really try to bring it back in some fashion. So it's not like, this really great idea isn't, gone forever kind of a thing.
That's a great point with the comparison to the Snyder Cut. And I'm not just saying that because I'm biased to both things we're talking about here, but it's like there were a voice of the people that got the attention of Gal Gadot, Ben Affleck, Jason Momoa, pretty much everybody in that film, Henry Cavill. They all got on their social media and tweeted, release the Snyder Cut. And that got people talking, and it raised almost $1 million for suicide prevention. It's like the power of the people. And Disney, I think it's important to include that Disney is, and it said this I think it said this in the article, so I'm not like breaking any fourth wall here, but they paid people to take a survey to get their thoughts on like aspects of the actual, part of the story. Like they were asking about Arrival, and then the middle chunk of the story and all that stuff. That's. Yeah. I don't think, and I think Brad said it when they were closing Splash Mountain down. Like they didn't ask, well,
no,
how did Brer Rabbit make you feel?
And and like you can use that for anything. So even you can say, well, that was just because it was controversial. They didn't ask. No, like they didn't ask that for Great Movie Ride, for anything they've closed ever. They didn't go to Adventures Club fans and be like, what'd you think of the Adventurers Club? They just ripped it away. So,
Brad, lastly, what do you think?
Yeah, it's coming back, just in a different way.
Just in a different way. I'm with you there.
Yeah,
I think I'm with all of you.
I think it's going to be that one night thing, and it's going to be dramatically less expensive. And I think that's what they need to do with something like this. Now, it's like I said, it's going to be different, but I think making it dramatically different or dramatically less expensive will help, because that was the big problem. But they had to have that cost because, like the article said, they had a full crew and then a full backup crew on every voyage, and they paid both.
They had a master and an apprentice.
Understudies. So I think, understudies. I think with tweaking it and making the characters like normal character meet and greets, that could really alleviate a lot of the financial issues.
And now,
But yeah, it's coming back. It's coming back, baby. We are so back.
Like I said, none of us are lawyers, so this might be why they haven't said anything. But if not, hopefully I'm wrong. But like, if you had a plan to bring it back as something, instead of just saying we're closing it, you should have said we're temporarily closing it to change it. But maybe there's a legal thing that says they can't do that.
Joshy Boy sort of said that.
Right, but they've also said we're changing Dino Land and there's going to be a Villains Land maybe. So like all their announcements mean nothing. So it's like you should have an official thing to say, but they don't. Maybe that's where the legal thing comes in, like I said. So I'm hoping that's the case.
Evan shared yeah. Go ahead, Kyle.
I was just going to ask, like, I have a question about that. Do you guys think that this was just like the Halcyon just open at a bad time? You know, for example, like Disney didn't really, I feel like when they were implementing this and putting this together, they didn't really think that there was going to be a pandemic, right? And the pandemic is, again, the gift that keeps on giving, 3 years later. Do you think that this is, it would have done better if there was no pandemic?
Kyle, Bob Iger knew about the pandemic ahead of time. He's in bed with BlackRock and all those other.
Might have.
Wrong podcast.
Okay. I keep saying Chapek's not the best ever either, but I think Iger kind of threw Chapek under the bus here for his own benefit. And now Iger came back as the, quote, savior, and then obviously he wasn't the savior.
I'll never forget, as like China was getting the brunt of COVID in the beginning, like February 2020, they're just getting their ass handed to them. And like the Chinese parks were closing down. I remember seeing like Iger and Chapek on like MSNBC as like, it was like the peaceful transition of power. And I swear to God, Iger just disappeared like he got snapped by Thanos.
Yep.
He's like, see ya, Bob.
Chapek's not the best either.
That's a conspiracy theory you can't convince me isn't real.
Yeah,
I'm with you, man.
I don't think Chapek's as bad as we all thought initially. He's not great, but
no, he's not good.
I don't think he's as bad as we all thought. I think Iger kind of screwed him.
He is not good, and he likes nachos.
I mean, he was handed a complete fucking dumpster fire, but
now, COVID did play into
you
this.
You get the praise, you get the heat.
Yeah, COVID's absolutely, you need to blame COVID and inflation.
The biggest blame of all of this, in my opinion, is Fox. I think the Fox thing just has screwed everything Disney for the next 20 years.
Yep.
That
was the stupidest use of money.
Mm-hmm.
Because they still, to this day, don't know what to do with The Simpsons, quite possibly one of their best IPs to come out of Fox. They haven't gotten Deadpool off the ground yet.
Predator,
X-Men.
Yep,
that's another
failure. The Mutants, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Simpsons is another franchise they have to buy back from Universal.
For the theme parks, I know.
I hope they don't, though. They need to just sell The Simpsons and try to get some of that money back.
Y'all want to buy The Simpsons?
I would love to
get them back on track.
How much do we need?
I don't know. I'll figure it out.
If anyone to own The Simpsons, Brad would be great, actually, because he loves them.
That's right. Brad and I both adore them, so we can get them back on track. We can start writing for them. Screw this AI nonsense.
I would love to.
We know what's funny. We know what will get us canceled.
Yep.
We've been there.
been there, done that.
So, to wrap up that, Kyle, I absolutely believe the pandemic, with the gift that keeps on giving, screwed this too. That with inflation, because it's all part of that, it played a huge part. Because people just don't have the disposable income anymore, right? They don't.
And the marketing sucked. There's a lot of things.
The marketing sucked because Disney, for whatever reason,
perfect storm of shit.
Yeah, for whatever reason, Business 101 tells you to cut marketing when times are tough.
Yeah.
And for this was the last thing you needed to do. Because when it was marketed very poorly. And I'll never forget, like, Disney's lucky that we're so big Star Wars fans. Because if I was like 50-50 and I saw that video of Joshy Boy in there in the lightsaber training pod, I would have said no thanks.
Yeah.
The first one was the worst, where it was that alien that was like she literally had a phone facing down.
And it felt like
she was like touching
a
it.
90s recording or something.
It was so bad, dude. It was so bad they pulled it down.
I know. I remember that. Yeah, that was weird.
It felt like it was connected to alien encounter, like extraterrestrial encounter.
100% did, dude. It was like 100% did.
Yeah, it was weird.
Speaking of that old attraction, I always think of Kyle when I walk by, but they've got the photo op up for Mr. Toad's Wild Ride over there.
Yeah, yeah.
In Tomorrowland for the Not So Scary Party, and I just like I think of Kyle and how that's a victory over him and his Disney fandom because he hates Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
I'm gonna take a picture every time now I see it.
Me
send
too.
it to him.
Me too.
You know what? I feel the same way about It's a Small World. I mean, It's a Small World is old school Disney. It was there forever, and that song is still as obnoxious as ever. And I wouldn't care if it blew up tomorrow. Like, I just don't care. I don't feel the same way about Mr. Toads, but again, like it's never done anything for me.
You're out of your mind.
Get rid of ours. Ours here can blow up, but Disneyland
ours
never
here
needs to
doesn't
go
matter.
away.
Ours needs to be a Dark Lantern Rapunzel ride.
100%.
It's right next to the bathroom.
They need to retheme Pinocchio's to Snuggly Duckling.
Oh, thank you. Yes, let's go. That's perfect right there. But no, Disneyland needs to stay because of how gorgeous that the front is and the queue is.
Yeah, and the history.
And the history, yeah.
Dude, Kyle, you need to look up the Christmas version of that.
Oh, yeah.
The overlay on that is just unbelievable. It's it glows in the park like it's so bright.
That was
gorgeous.
the first time I saw that Small World. It was during Christmas time.
Oh, dude, it's so
believe
beautiful.
Couldn't believe it. Yeah. Did you see they put the time clock from Loki, or they posted an image?
Miss Minutes.
Miss Minutes, yeah. They put her on the Small World clock. Like Disney posted it for like a second.
That's hilarious.
Wow.
I like that.
Some people didn't like it though.
Nope.
I get it,
included.
but I think that's cool. I think it's cool when they do stuff like that.
It wasn't
from
permanently,
time
though.
to time.
No, yeah, it was just digital too. I don't think it was even.
They
really
did
there.
shit like that all the time in like the '90s. Like look up the time Stitch TP'd Cinderella's castle.
Yeah,
Or-
I know, we all hated that.
The Millennium at Epcot.
Yeah, the
The
stupid
giant
wand.
Mickey hand.
Yeah, the
giant
hand.
wand.
Yeah, God, I don't know how they did that. Anyway, all right. So speaking of stupid things people have said about Star Wars, Matthew Vaughn, director of the Kingsman movies, Kick-Ass, X-Men First Class, and Days of Future Past, shared on the Happy, Sad, and Confused podcast that what he would do with Star Wars. I don't know why they're asking this guy this, but although he was apparently connected to some movies, so maybe that's why.
Yeah, he was connected to, I think, was it when Boba Fett?
No, Boba Fett
Was it
was
Boba Fett?
Guillermo del Toro.
Wasn't Trank?
No,
one of
that
those?
was Jabba the Hutt. My bad. That was
Trank-
Jabba.
Josh Trank was doing one of them, wasn't he? I don't
Josh Trank. That's right. That's who it was. It was Josh Trank. You're right.
Okay, so
He was connected to something at some point.
So his comments increasingly coincide with the rumors years ago that Vaughn was in talks to direct a Star Wars film, possibly even Episode 7. So here's what he said. Why are the Star Wars characters so hollowed that from 1977 you can't redo it for a new audience? He asked that question. Lily's upset with this, too. Star Wars is a Skywalker family. That's where I think... okay, so he said, Star Wars is the Skywalker family, and that's where I think they've gone wrong. They forgot. They've done brilliantly in TV, but it needs an epic new film. That's what I would do. Everyone is going to go batshit crazy, but let's bring it on. You want a new generation? Make the movie for them. The old generation, hopefully you will make it well enough that they enjoy it.
Somebody didn't see episode 7, 8, 9, it sounds like, because it focused on the Skywalker family.
I know.
The things that he praised, and he contradicted himself. He said that Star Wars is the Skywalker family, and they've done it brilliantly in TV.
Yes.
No, they haven't. There hasn't been a single Star Wars television series that was focused on the Skywalkers.
Ahsoka
That's
was
kind of the
kind
fucking
of.
point.
Ahsoka's the closest
No,
we got.
it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was focused on Ahsoka. It had nothing to do with. I mean, it had elements of Anakin in there.
Right. She's
But it's not-
part
it's
of the
not the Anakin
Skywalker
and
legacy.
Ahsoka show.
No, it's not, but
Yes.
she's still part of the legacy.
He's talking about the core three.
Sure.
He's talking about Luke, Leia, Han, who's not a Skywalker, but like he's
I
talking
get
about
it.
those
Yeah.
people.
I get it.
And the thing is, too,
And then he contradicts
you
himself.
can't
This is dumb.
please everybody. Because they did stuff about those characters in the sequels, and
I
not
know.
everybody was happy about it.
It's
So like,
because-
you
They
can't please
made the
everybody.
fucking movies already. They've
Yeah.
already made 3 movies. They made a
Yep.
trilogy with those characters. That story's done.
Now- I'm with you.
Tie them in when you can. Cool, but we gotta fucking move on.
I know. Everybody always talks about make something new, do that, do this, do that, and then you got
Then they
prominent
do, and
people.
everyone bitches about it.
Like this guy made some good movies. I enjoy First Class. Days of Future Past is my favorite
Kingsman
X-Men movie.
Is the shit,
Yeah.
both of them.
Yeah, I've heard Kingsmen are great. I'll have to check it out in the future. I love
You've
the
never
movie.
seen Kingsman?
No.
I never have either.
Kyle, have you
Oh
seen
my god, these
Kingsman?
movies are awesome.
I've seen the first one, but I never went and watched the second one.
Second one's not as good, but it's fun. Pedro Pascal's in the second one.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
So and then
nice.
and
One of the
then
many space Jesuses.
Kick-Ass. Brad and I have talked about loving that.
Yeah,
That
I like
That
that
first
too.
one,
I haven't
one
seen
of the
it in like
best comic book
15
movies
years
of all
but
time.
Yeah, I love
Agreed. The second one was not good.
Second one's complete dog shit.
Right.
How you fuck up a movie with Jim Carrey in it is beyond me.
Yeah, that's right. He wasn't that. God. Anyway, so again, everybody asking to start it over, do this, do that, and the other. Whether you like it or not, guess what? The Skywalker story has been told. I fear reboots because, like, it's going to happen to Harry Potter. That's what's coming on HBO Max. And I know Kyle's shitting his britches right now hearing the reboot for Harry Potter, but you can't do it with Star Wars. I don't know why, but you just shouldn't. It's a giant galaxy. Like, there's so much to be told.
I mean, I feel like they almost could do it with Harry Potter because it's like a book series, right? Star Wars is like a very long story, right? You don't want to just start from scratch because there's so many stories to tell. You know, there's so many characters to explore. I would think that would be a real dumb decision if they ever decided that.
They're not going to do it. It would people would like fucking riot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you like made the original trilogy not canon, like I think less people would be upset if you kind of redid everything from that point again. But if you take out the original trilogy, I mean, people aren't going to watch it.
And there's minor precedent for this. Like, the closest we'll ever get is like special editions where they add stuff, but they're not like remaking the entire movie with new actors and new, like, they're not doing that. It's not going to be like a live action remake situation.
If I get another Jedi Rocks, I'm going to burn your apartment down.
Right. As you should. I don't like the special editions at all. Whenever I watch the originals, I watch the unspecialized editions. That's how nerdy I am.
I like some of the stuff in the remakes. Like the Emperor looks better.
I like it, like two or three things. The Emperor, and that's really about it.
I think
there's more good than bad, but the bad is like holy shit bad.
Yeah.
The bad, you're like, how the fuck did you think this was a good idea?
The bad is pretty McClunky.
So, Matthew Vaughn, no, we don't want this. I'm with Brad. People would lose their absolute mind over crap like this.
Yeah,
and I would.
It's an infinite story. You can just tell You can tell High Republic movies or shows. You can go before High Republic. You can go after sequels, movies and shows. It's an infinite timeline.
This is why I think Star Wars is kind of easy to write. Because here's what you can do with Star Wars that's unique to Star Wars. You can write a Luke Skywalker story and have it Luke Skywalker's name in the script the entire time. And then at the very end, you can just change Luke Skywalker's name to a different character that has the same traits as Luke Skywalker, same Jedi, but you can tell the story, that exact same story that you were telling for Luke as a different character in any time period. So you can have the story that you want to tell for Luke, but it can be a different person. They did it with Mando. You know damn well that they wrote that story as Boba Fett and IG-88.
Mm-hmm. Probably,
and then they're just like, oh, wait, it's not him. It's the Mandalorian and IG-11. You know that's what
they basically unofficially confirmed it, because they always said, this is like when we used to play with our Boba Fett and IG-88 characters and the stories we always told in our backyard. So, they
and
wanted
look how well
it to be
it worked
that.
with Mando.
Yeah.
Worked with Mando. So you can do that same type of thing. The fetishization of the original trilogy annoys me, but I understand it because they're great. But we can't keep harping on these four characters. There's more shit going on.
And they're not the best characters, honestly. No. Leia's pretty awesome. No. But aside from that, the original characters aren't really the best characters.
I saw some horde bullshit that somebody, and I'm so happy that the internet came before I showed up and made a comment, because they were like, oh, Rey doesn't have as much training, or she didn't get trained, she just all of a sudden was super powered. And then a few people called him out and be like, dude, she had more training than Luke did.
Yeah.
Calm the fuck down. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been saying that from the jump.
We have. Yeah.
And there's precedent in all of Star Wars. Even Savage Opress in the Clone Wars gets 5 minutes of training from Dooku, and then he goes and kills 3 Jedi. It's well, he had 5 minutes of training.
I know.
But A, it's a cartoon, so people don't care about it.
It's okay because it's a man.
But also B, it's a man, so who cares? But
he's a knight brother.
The training in Star Wars has never been that big of a deal.
Luke didn't know what the Force was in A New Hope.
Yeah. And they used it to blow
they're
up the
talking
Death
to him
Star.
about it, and he's like, what, a lightsaber? What's that? No clue. Uses it out of nowhere and to blow up the Death Star. I mean, Obi-Wan helps him, but That's okay. Like
I know.
it's so the double standard is what fucking annoys me.
I know.
Do you guys think like there's just some Star Wars fans that exist and they're just never happy with anything
Yes.
that
Yeah,
comes out?
Yes.
They're not Star Wars fans. They're fans of those 3 movies.
Yep.
Star Wars fans appreciate the entire thing. I've notoriously on the show shit on Attack of the Clones, but the second someone that doesn't know Star Wars starts talking shit about it, I'll defend it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know the story. I love Star Wars as a whole. There are things, of course. I don't mean you have to like every single thing down to every little thing, but there are people who are like, I watched those 3 movies and that's Star Wars for me.
Mhm.
That's not all Star Wars, dude. Like, there's way more to it than that.
There's a lot of Metallica fans like this, and Tom
Yep.
would probably back me up on that, because there's always like those that are like, I would never listen to anything after A Justice for All, and it's just like,
I see
like
memes all the time for that. There's like, Metallica has been around for 40 years. Thanks for 12 years of great music. It's like, shut the fuck up.
Oh,
like
God.
you don't want to listen to 40 years of like the same stuff. I mean, like, you could certainly always appreciate the old, but like that's what keeps the sausage, tasty, right? You got to keep making it a little bit different and changing it up. Like, I think it's important to like move forward a bit,
100%.
How do you think Metallica lasted 40 years? How do you think Star Wars has lasted over 40 years?
Can't do the same shit every time.
Exactly.
I mean, what the fuck?
New fans. Lily, when she grows up and starts watching this stuff, she's probably not going to give 2 shits about the movies from the late 70s, early 80s. It's all going to be about
speaking of
Rey.
Lily, I saw a picture of her the other day. She looks just like you, dog.
I know.
That's what Taylor
I actually agree with
talking
that.
about, too.
Yeah.
Yep.
She looks just like you, dude.
I know, it's crazy. I feel sorry for her,
wild.
but hopefully she grows out of that by the time she gets old enough. So, unless, I just hope she doesn't look like Kyle's mom, so she gets a bunch of attention growing up. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Y'all, Stellan Geos lightsaber is coming.
Yeah, dude.
Woo.
We called it. They even did it with the way we said they should do it.
Yep. But for one, that box is going to be massive.
Yes, it is.
But
Can't wait.
that's okay. I'll get that one. I hate the huge
Is
boxes.
this a May the 4th
but
release?
Ooh.
They didn't say, but I would bet money,
Okay.
which sucks because I'm going to be paying the money to get it on May 4th. Which is good. How much is this going to be? $300?
I don't think it'll be $300. Unless they they said
Well, those
limited
other ones
edition.
are 500, dude.
True.
They said limited edition, right?
Yeah, I think they did. So it
Oh,
might
they
be,
did? So
it
yeah,
might be
this is gonna be
pushing
made
400 or 500.
Yeah.
Ah, damn.
It could if it comes in a box and shit.
It's going to have to
like
come
they
in a
did
special
for-
box.
Looking at
Yeah.
my Cal and Ahsoka box, so those are $430.
Yikes.
I thought they were 5.
No,
Now, those are 2 lightsabers,
Were they
though. and
$3.99?
and
yeah, $399.
so
Okay.
those are double-bladed, so maybe it'll be less because it's not
Yeah.
double-bladed, but it's kind of triple-bladed in a way because
How
it
much
has the
was
smaller...
how much was Kylo's
Ooh, that's a good question. I bought that,
Kylo's was like
3 years ago.
130.
when it came out though? And it came out early.
Yeah, it came out in that
It was-
first
it was
wave
the
where they were,
opening day
quote,
one.
cheaper,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's still under 2
I think
now.
it was 124.
Wow.
125, I think,
Something
was what
like
they
that.
were.
I'm betting this one's going to be at least 250 though. Like, there's no way.
Well, I get a bonus in March, and this is gonna be my bonus purchase.
yeah,
There you go. Yeah, right.
we're all 3 going to be
gonna
rope
save
dropping
it up.
We're going to be there at like 7 a.m. waiting
I
to
told
get
you
in.
what my plan was, and I'm serious about that.
Maybe a resort? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotta make sure these.
It's worth it, man.
It is,
for
for
that
this?
for those
Yeah.
days because it's like it's so worth it. I would consider doing the same thing, honestly.
Brad and I were in line for May 4th this year, and
That's
him and I
true.
were looking at prices. I'm
How
like, we should have
terrible
just
these
done this.
are.
We should have
Yeah.
went in on it like 50-50.
These merch drops are
Yeah.
always a mess.
Yeah.
So if you can make them less of a mess, you probably should.
Absolutely.
Good point.
1,000% with you. Hey, Brad, we got a bunch of really good listener questions last week, but you didn't get a chance
Okay.
to answer. Do you want to take a crack at them? We could do a little.
Yeah, sure. And I didn't even listen to the show yet, so I don't even know what the questions are.
Perfect.
So let's do this.
Kyle, you can answer them too if you want, but I might mute you. So let's see here. Newest first. Okay. I'll go first to last. So from Praydeck Patrick, who we met at the Hoth party, what do you wish your Star Wars pet could be? He wants the Charhound from the High Republic novels, basically a dog that breathes fire. So Brad and Kyle. Brad, go first. What Star Wars pet would you want?
That's a good one. Charhounds are dope. I'm a dog person, so Mothcat's not even in the conversation.
Don't worry, that's what Evan said.
Yeah. Or I said the opposite. I did a Lothcat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think a Charhound, or maybe like a. It'd be dope to own a Dewback.
That would be fun.
I like Dewbacks a lot.
Dewback. Their name insinuates it should be like some sort of slur. You
I know.
Feels weird.
Get them Dewbacks out of here, buddy.
I bet it is somewhere in the
Get
universe.
your Dewback ass across the wall.
Yeah. Well, not good. I said boggling.
That
Dewback, yeah.
damn Dewback took her.
Oh, that's spectacular.
Oh shit.
Kyle, what would you pick as your Star Wars pet?
100% Lothcat.
Yeah, you would.
Without a doubt. I didn't really know what they were until I think they were on Jedi Survivor, and then we saw it in Ahsoka, and I'm like 100% Lothcat.
They were in The Mandalorian.
For like
There's
half
one
a
on
second.
bot too, bro.
And
Yeah,
the one in
that's it.
Galaxy's
Really?
Edge. Yeah.
Oh, I would want him like fatter than hell though. He would have to be a fat Lothcat.
chunky
You want
boy.
the Garfield of Lothcats?
Yeah.
Garflex.
I hate Mondays.
Flex.
Yeah. You call him
Tongs days.
Garflex.
No, he
yeah.
hates Tongs days.
Tongs days. Yeah,
Yes.
there you go. Okay. Patrick had another question. And Kyle, you probably won't have an answer to this because I don't think you know any of the books. But Brad, specifically for you, what is your favorite book series, or comic from the current canon?
My favorite book is one of each, or just one from them.
You could do one of each. Evan and I did our favorite book and comic
Yeah,
series.
you know me. I probably gave like 5 answers.
That too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say my favorite book. It stands out to me so much because it feels like a movie. It's Resistance Reborn.
Perfect. We all had a different answer.
What?
That book is amazing. Leia, Princess of Alderaan, is a close second.
That was my number
You know
one.
what? Actually, I'm gonna say okay. That's just to be different from Tom.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Resistance Reborn, but Leia, Princess of Alderaan is so fucking good. I've read that book twice.
Kyle, did you get Leia, Princess
If
of
I read it,
Alderaan
I'll
yet?
listen to it.
Yeah.
It counts.
Did I what?
Did you get? Because I know you were thinking about checking out that book, Leia, Princess of Alderaan. Have you?
No, I actually bought that for Isabel.
Oh, perfect.
And because you recommended it,
Yes.
but I have not. I'm more of like an audiobook person, so like if it's an audiobook, I'd absolutely do it.
It is.
It is.
I'll give you my Audible login. You can log in. I got like a shit ton of Star Wars books on there. You can get caught up.
There you go. So Aaron Kramer also asked, this is around the time those BD droids dropped. Which of the 3 BD-style droids that debuted on Batu-S for each of you? Brad, we gave you green because I think Evan took blue for Blue Milk.
Because Tom obviously had to be
I had to be orange.
I don't know what
for
Kyle
obvious
would
reasons.
be, so.
Yeah.
But the other droids,
Green's one of my favorite colors.
there we go.
There
it
we
worked.
go. Brad's green because
And Kyle can be one of the guys holding the signs that says droid testing.
he's too short for that.
Kyle's the shortest droid of the 3. That was a bad joke, and I apologize for saying it.
Well, yeah, I mean, at least you're consistent. Most of you guys' jokes are bad, so
Sure.
good for you.
Which, if you could be any animal species in Star Wars, what would you guys be? That's from Easy Maddie. Easy.Maddie.
I'd be a dewback so I could take their job. Any Star Wars
I picked Rancor.
animal?
Yeah.
Rancor is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I would want to be a Dianoga.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna live in
Just
trash
to
water.
fuck with people, dog. Just to
Gross.
fuck with people. Because, like, no one ever looks forward to seeing a Dianoga.
That's fair.
Right.
That's how
that
Kyle
me.
feels every day.
Except me when I go to Batu, I'm like, is he working today? Oh, there he is. Like, I get excited to see him.
Yeah, there was some kid
I
really
love
excited about that. Kyle, would you be any sort of animal species other than a fat
I would
Lothcat?
be. Other than a fat Lothcat, I think it would be a Wampa because I would just love to fuck everyone's shit up.
That would be fun.
Fuck the cold, bro.
Yeah,
Ugh.
right.
It probably doesn't affect
lives
the
with
It's like
Wampa.
Chicago.
60 here and I'm freezing.
They've got like 85 pounds of fur. They'll be fine.
It's beautiful over here, man. Like the moment you left
Is it?
Brad, it got gorgeous.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know what the hell happened.
That adds up.
Yeah.
That adds up. That's how my luck goes.
Shenanigans at Disney says the Star Cruiser returns and you can pick absolutely any Star Wars planet to have your excursion on. What planet are you choosing?
Oh shit.
Good question. Love this question.
I know my answer.
Yeah, go ahead. I picked Takodana. Evans was.
I can't remember.
You said Kuwait, I think. Well, where's Croy from?
Yeah, I think I did say Kawat.
Kuwait. You also said Ryloth. So
Ryloth would have been dope.
Brad, what would you pick?
Canto Bite.
Oh, yeah, duh.
That's easy.
Little
It's right
fucking
there.
casino.
That's
being able
the
to
best
wa-
answer.
If that existed, god damn, that'd be cool. Coruscant's a close second too.
There's how Star Wars could introduce, or Disney can introduce gambling.
Right? They're already doing sports gambling.
Take us
so
to Canto Bite. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's
Canto
the
Bite's
best
the way to
answer.
go.
Kyle, do you have a favorite Star Wars planet that you'd want to visit?
I don't. I'm probably not the best with Star Wars planets, but God, I mean, I feel like there's. I'm thinking of like Jedi Survivor because I feel like you got to explore the most with those, but.
Bogano would be sick. Talking about Fallen Order.
Bogano would be cool. What was the first? It was like Coruscant, where you start in Jedi Survivor.
Yep, you're in Coruscant.
Just seeing like a big city life like that would be really cool. It was kind of like cyberpunky. I that might be really cool to explore, or something, quiet like a beach. I think Canto Bite was kind of like in an island area, so. Something like that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Canto Bite's the best answer. I don't know how. I feel really dumb for not thinking about that.
No,
Genius.
right. No, hey, that's what we all bring different stuff to the podcast,
Yeah,
Evan.
I bring being dumb.
There you go.
Yeah.
Drew from Heroes of the Halcyon asked, I'm still somewhat new to your show, so pardon if I have missed from older episodes, but what are your primary hobbies outside of the podcast? We shared ours, Brad, so I'll give you an opportunity to talk about yours.
Music. I'm a big bourbon dork.
A bork.
A bork. I'm
That's
a
your
bourbon
new
dork.
Star Wars animal name, a bork.
Bork. He's a bork.
He's a
Did a
bork.
good job, you goddamn bork.
The borks and dewbacks.
Music, that's a big thing. We're big Disney people too,
Yeah.
all of us on the show. But specifically myself, bourbon.
Disney history.
That's kind of it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I talked a lot about what we were doing with Scourge. So speaking of Scourge with Kyle on, you've got 75% of Scourge on. You did have 100% of us on in April last year when Kyle and Tim were ripping at each other's throats
That was fun.
about pooping in the middle of Walgreens or something. I don't know. So yeah. Thanks, Drew. Appreciate the love. We give it right back to Hoth. Check out Heroes of the Halcyon if you want more Halcyon driven stuff. They're talking to different people every week. The Big Smooth asks, what character from the Halcyon Starcruiser voyage would you like to see appear in film, TV canon?
Oh, this is easy. Croy.
Okay.
Oh, wow, okay.
We all had different answers. Evan he's like the smartest approach would be SK. He thinks
Right, that's the easy one.
SK showing up. I said Captain. I want Captain Keevan.
Yeah.
Canon.
Captain Keevan would work too.
Well, she is canon, but I want her in TV.
Croy would work for me because it would be a different take on like a First Order officer that you haven't seen on film before, especially for First Order.
Absolutely.
And I think the way he would work with like more serious First Order people would be interesting, especially if you got him back. Like, let's say the events of the Halcyon happened and then he went back and he starts kind of see like, hey, this might not be what I think it is, and like having to deal with that could actually be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What if that was the spy in Episode 9? It was Croy.
That would have been amazing.
That would be awesome.
Hux
That's the special edition of Episode 9. That's the
Yes.
only thing they change.
But everyone in the theater would have been like, who the hell is Croy? Who is this guy?
like the 71,000
Except
people.
Evan's like, holy shit.
I'd be like, best movie of all time.
Yeah.
I don't care about the dagger. The daggers, I don't care anymore. Man.
SK makes sense. I mean, Resistance Droid, that makes sense.
Yeah, in the new Rey movie, just have him in the background like you did Chopper in Rogue One. You know, like, there
Ochi
you go.
of
Oh my God.
Bestoon could literally take over as like the main Jedi for some reason, and you would still say that
Yeah,
movie's the
I'd be like,
best
whatever, I don't care.
because Croy showed up.
100%. 100%.
Last question, and I'll leave this for both Brad and Kyle because the Star Cruiser, I know Kyle wouldn't know those characters in depth, but if you were a Padawan, who would your one Jedi Master be?
Oh, it's easy as shit for me. Qui-Gon, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We knew it.
Yep, I said
I want to
Anakin.
suck him off. What?
I said Anakin and Jaro Tapal.
I don't remember what I said.
Evan said. So you said
No, I
like
did Stellan,
Loden
didn't I?
Greystorm.
Loden or
Yeah,
Stellan? From
yeah.
No, it was Loden or Avar Kriss.
Avar Kriss, yeah.
I forgot I said that, yeah.
Kyle,
I'm
who would
smart
you pick
sometimes.
as your Jedi Master?
God, I think that would be tough. I mean, I could see certainly Obi-Wan or Qui-Gon they seem the most like balanced, and I feel like you could like learn a lot from them. Yeah, I would certainly like want a like non-complicated Jedi Master.
Well, I guess Qui-Gon would be one of the closest. Obi-Wan, no, because he was like riddled in the war. I think he's more complicated than Qui-Gon is, especially he's got Anakin.
Yeah. In a vacuum, though, I don't think Obi-Wan would be that complicated.
Yeah, true. It depends where in his story, because he really doesn't put it together until like a little bit before A New Hope, around the time he kills Maul. Like he seems to be pretty.
That's like him at his peak.
Pretty together, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm surprised
Cool,
Tom
good
didn't
questions.
say Mace Windu.
Great questions, I know. Thank you, listeners. 2 more quick topics, and then we'll call it a day. We're at an hour here. Y'all, I saw, and I'm saying this because we've all committed as much as we could to Japan for 2025 for the next celebration. So do you see that Mark Hamill's doing some cons in San Francisco? And like, do you think he's going to be at Celebration?
Yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't be surprised.
He wasn't at the last one, right? He wasn't at the one in London?
No, he wasn't. But I think that was more COVID stuff. Like, still kind of like he's pretty, he's pretty left leaning. So I wouldn't be shocked if that was the case for that.
Okay. We don't know. We were just speculating. So.
God bless him. Do you think? But
sure.
I think that's more the reason why.
Yeah. Okay. That would be cool if he was there when we were there.
If he's there, Jedi Talk's meeting Mark Hamill, bro.
Oh
yeah, we got to try to make that happen. We got to make it happen.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe you could give him another dumbass shirt.
I will give him a shirt.
I'm sorry. Does Fourth Mother Box have merch?
Tom?
We can. I'm the one who
Look at
paid for
you.
the Jedi Talk shirt that gave to Anakin, so we can. So shit.
Hey, our 7 listeners on YouTube want Fourth Mother Box merch.
I would rock a Fourth Mother Box tee.
I'll make it. I've been wanting to buy a
I would
cricket
love one actually.
lately, so I can just do the merch myself.
Don't put any creative text on the back, you dickhead.
We'll talk soon. Kyle's mom.
I will put creative text on the back. Thank you very much. Sammy.
I'll ride your mother like a bantha.
Oh,
Like a bantha.
Last but not least, on one of our crazy top 10s earlier this year, we made drinks for Ogas, and I took it really far.
Yeah, you did.
And then we had LeBeth on, former chemist on the Starcruiser. Former, yes. Well, everybody's former now,
Yeah.
so.
Kyle, you got to say former, or we can't release the episode.
Or Disney will snipe us.
Former.
Yeah. Yep.
So, thank you, Disney. We all said former. So, LeBeth is going to come on again because on that show we had agreed that she would come back and make some of those crazy drinks for us and we'd try it. So, November 18th, look out. That's our official putting it out there in the universe.
That's the day we die.
I'm going to Jollywood
That's gonna
Nights
be
that
fun.
day, so that'll be an interesting day, too.
After all the drinking?
Yeah,
Oh my
I
gosh.
think that's the day we're going to Jollywood Nights as well.
that's badass.
Dang.
Jollywood Nights, they dropped the food for that, so I'm starting to
Dude,
like, yeah.
it looks fucking awesome. Did you see that it's I keep saying that it's adults only. Have you seen that?
I hope not because I'm bringing
Don't
Lily.
see how they could do that.
I don't think that counts.
Yeah.
But like I keep seeing things over and over again that it's adults only.
What? Really? Interesting.
Yeah.
That'd be dope, but I
They
doubt
marketed it that way on ABC, like the Good Morning America. We saw it come across the other day on Twitter, and they're like, "Yes, adults only event at Hollywood Studios." And I was like, "What the fuck?"
Wow. I'm gonna have to look into that when we close
Yeah.
shop today. So I don't think we have anything else, Kyle. Before we wrap it up here on this fourth Mother Talk 5 impromptu, anytime we're on Skype, we like to have surprises. Anything you'd like to say? It's not a final word that you always fuck up on the fourth Mother Box, but anything you want to say to the Jedi Talk before we close it out for today?
No, I just hate everyone on this podcast and all your fans. So that's all.
Thank you for joining. At Kyle Cosentino on Instagram. Please report him. Brad, take us home.
Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you on the next show. Until then, stay safe. May the Force be with you.
Always in Tabuite.
Rise, Jedi Knight.